Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Talk.
A real Celtic talk show by real Celtic fans from the Carluke Shamrock Supporters Club on Hail Hail Media.
Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Tic Talk, 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 Talk.
Hail, hail, and welcome to Tic Talk with the Carluke Shamrock Celtic Supporters Club. This session is being recorded on Monday, the 24th of September 2012. Now, you can find more information about the club at carlukeshamrock.com, or you can get this podcast and all the Celtic family podcasts at hailhailmedia.com. So, on this windswept night in Carluke, I am joined by four brave men who've made it through the wind and the hail and are currently wearing some quite scary hats. Let's go around the table. We have
Andy,
Scott,
Brian, right side of the lights.
Keiran, who is officially from the proper right side of the lights. Scott, Brian, you want to discuss the hats you're wearing? Brian, you've got a phrase for yours.
Cheat the chill.
Cheat the chill.
That's,
It's a cheat the chill hat.
hashtag cheat the chill.
It's a hashtag.
Oh no, no another hashtag. No, we've run out of space on the t-shirts.
I'll wear the young boys tonight and they get a hashtag
That's
doing
a new
that.
one. Correction coming soon.
But what I'm going to say, Richard, is Andy's is Coley.
That is cool. Talk us through this, Andy. Where was this from?
Scott.
Scott,
Andy.
sorry, you shouted at Andy. Scott.
This was from the Celtic Support Association Club.
Aye.
Got this last year. And I'm
And
just
it's
putting,
the
it on,
ultras.
putting it on show now. So I'm not brave enough to wear it about law.
The law.
Especially with the bauble on the top.
That is a quality bubble, I've got to say. Or a shambolic bubble, I don't know which one it is. Yes, we've got the two people from the young team. These are back in the first team squad now. Yeah. Superb, good to see you lads.
It's the full debut.
Aye. Full debut, yes. You stepped up for it, you've been in training.
Aye.
Up for it. Brilliant. And we've got your two older heads with us as well, no seen yous for a while. We've had a few special broadcasts, obviously. Good to see yous again, Brian.
It's nice to be back.
Bright top.
Yes,
I've got
my new top at the golf on Friday.
Thank God this one isn't a video cast.
Trust me, I can pick me up for a satellite dish with it.
Fantastic. Right, boys, we've got loads to cover, so let's crack on. So first up, we've got two games to review. So first of all, we'll go back to the very first one, which is the draw. Celtic 0, Benfica 0. Talk us through it. What's your general thoughts on it after it's been done and dusted? How are you feeling about it?
I'm still not sure. I don't think, looking at the group we've got, I don't think a 0-0 is good enough at home. But you never know. Mm-hmm. See what happens against the other two.
So were you in the mood that this is a home game, this is where we get our points?
First home
barring
game.
Maybe Barcelona, you thought?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Try and pick up 3 points your first game. One of the week or two in the group. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm still not sure if it was good enough.
Right.
Just need to wait and see.
Okay. Keiran, go along with that? Were you expecting more? Or now that it's done, have you kind of changed your thoughts on it a wee bit?
No, I thought Benfica were actually better than what I expected.
Right.
And coming out the ground, I was quite happy that we'd managed to keep another clean sheet in a European match.
Uh-huh.
What I was a wee bit, I think we missed Samaras.
Right.
In the
Quite
European
a
game.
few boys missing.
I think when you're playing that kind of 4-5-1 and you need someone kind of leading the line, Samaras is always a good one for me.
A good out.
Does a lot of running, he can hold the ball up, he can kind of take a lot of pressure off.
Aye.
I thought the new boy had a decent game, some nice touches, but I thought we just lacked that wee cutting edge going forward.
Right.
And I think
Not much chances either, team.
no, there wasn't many chances in general, and I don't know if even kind of maybe halfway through the second half, it almost seemed like both teams were happy with a point,
right?
Or they were particularly playing pretty cagey and want to kind of lose it, I guess.
Quite cautious for the first game.
But like Andy said, I think you need to win your home games to have a chance of qualifying. And I think now, just with the way the games are running now, we now go to Moscow, which will be a tough gig, and then you've got your back-to-backs with Barcelona. So you would like to think that you can't take any points for granted out of those two back-to-back games. So I think we are going to need to go somewhere and pick up some points away from home. And I think Moscow might be our best chance.
Right, going over
I think
to them
Benfica's going to be another hard shift for the
same
team.
again, kind of matching each
they
other.
looked a good team, and I think we need to remember as well that they won the last 8 of the Champions League last year. And a lot of people are saying they've sold their 2 best players, but they're still a good team, and
they still spent, what was it, 20 million, 25 million or something daft.
Good technical team as well. I was quite impressed with their passing, but I thought we matched them. So I wasn't too disappointed at walking out none each.
Brian, Keiran mentions the phrase here, matching them. Is that maybe something we've learned, apart from Barcelona? Are those 3 teams really, really tight, and it's going to be a close one for those places?
Well, Richard, to a certain extent, you know what I mean, but we didn't have any options the other night there.
Right.
See, because we didn't have Kyle, we didn't have Ledley, didn't have Samaras, didn't have McCourt, Hooper wasn't fit, Stokes is not there. We didn't have any other options, so we had to go with what we had.
Right.
And stick to that scenario. See, if you had different options, I think it might have been different in the game, you know what I mean? But you could have dropped Forrest off and brought him on half an hour to go with his pace.
Right.
Might have made a bit difference, but you've got to look at these things. But Moscow, you don't know, is it a plastic pitch?
It is, it's a plastic pitch over there.
Aye, it's a plastic pitch, so one of these things. But in saying that, we played, was it Helsinki? We played in the plastic pitch.
Played Moscow before on it.
No, see our qualifying games there. One of them was a plastic pitch.
Helsinki,
I think it was Helsinki. One of the pass. I'm sure one of them.
Definitely an official pitch on the qualifiers.
So we've got a bit of experience of playing on it. Might suit us to go away for him. We play 4-5-1. I'll tell you,
the way we've
last
turned that
season,
around,
last season our 3 away games in the Europa League.
We
played really well.
Aye.
And I just think then we won these two games, qualifying games, which was a surprise to everybody.
It really shocked us,
away from home. So you don't know. We just need to wait and see. But one thing I'll say about Wednesday night, Richard, was see the buzz in the stadium before the game. It was incredible.
That's what I want to throw over this, man. Talk me through it. Were you impressed?
I was quite happy that everybody's kind of getting behind the team instead of the usual when a big team comes to Celtic Park. It's always a good atmosphere, but everybody's kind of fearing them a little bit. They're not as...
Right, get that caution.
Everybody had a wee bit of confidence about the place instead of...
Right.
Usually everybody's usually up for it when a big team comes, but they're kind of dead cautious about...
Is it that kind of thing where one stray ball and you hear the full stadium going like that? You didn't feel that was there that time? Was it more supportive?
Unless it was Kelvin Wilson, which was quite a bit... That's a
good one to bring up.
I've got to bring this back here.
Definitely, go for it.
I think everybody needs to get off his back when he's got the ball, he's under control, he's running back towards goal, and everybody's zoning on before he's not put a foot wrong when at the time on against Benfica, he hadn't put a foot wrong and everybody's zoning on as if they're kind of willing him on to lose the ball.
Right. Did you think he'd done a lot better in that game than what we'd seen? Because a lot of guys were talking about that. He did.
The Hillsborough home game, I thought he was the best player on the pitch, and he was alright against Benfica. I thought he'd done no bad. He heads the ball and he's got pace. That's what we need in Europe.
There you go. Happy with that? Were you pleased with his performance,
I thought he played well, and there was one tackle in particular that was in the second half, and Benfica were breaking really quickly.
Right.
And Wilson was kind of left a wee bit exposed by, I think the Celtic team had maybe been up for a corner,
and the boy can
he absolutely went in for the ball as if I don't win this, then the man and the ball and everything are going into the stand.
It
was an
moment.
absolute crackery and tackle. I think he actually hurt himself after it because he was kind of lumping about a wee bit after it. But it was a good challenge. But I thought he played well. I'm one of the ones that I get a bit nervous about him sometimes.
Sure.
And I think for me, I think he thinks that no one else is as quick as him. So he knows he's getting that bit of pace.
Right.
And he sometimes relies on his pace, thinking that no one else is going to be as quick as him.
Right.
And he can sometimes appear to be a little bit casual, but I think he's playing pretty well just now. And what Scott said, he offers us something different at the back. He's got pace, and we don't have very many central defenders that have got that wee bit of pace that just to kind of find that extra yard to catch the striker. So
sure.
I'm quite impressed with him. He's playing all right.
Let him build it up from there.
I think if he gets a good run in the team, I think the problem we've always had with him is he hasn't played very many games kind of consecutively. You know, he's always he's had a lot of injury problems.
That's
I think
probably been his biggest run, or maybe he's maybe been out once or twice, but this season's definitely been his. He's started it off well, and he's going to continue in it. He's not really put a foot wrong in my eyes yet.
And one of the guys at the back who is still getting, pelters might be too strong a word, but kind of concerns about him, is he? How are you feeling about him? Nowhere near the player we had at his heights.
Nowhere near. Before his injury, he was, in my eyes, one of the best players we had. Really, really valued him in the team. But now, he's not done much wrong as such, but especially in the European tie, I wouldn't say he just wasn't up to pace. I don't think he was up to pace. I don't know if he's not fit or whatever, but I just don't. It wasn't up to standard for, especially the rest of the team, because I thought the rest of the team played very well against Benfica.
I thought it was interesting in the game. You could actually see Benfica making a point of trying to get the ball out to the left hand side of the park.
Targeted.
They were really targeting, so they'd obviously identified that possibly Izzy was a weak link in the back four and maybe even in the team. And you could actually see the way they were closing us in and closing the ball in. It was to try and get it across to Izzy in the hope that he was then going to kind of slack pass or.
And he did get hooked, didn't he? That's the game that kind of did Lennon see it as well.
Half time he got hooked.
And he started rejigging things, so that's good as well for us. The manager's kind of spotting these things.
To me,
Brian, what's your thoughts? You're one of Carluke's most infamous football coaches. what's the deal with Izzy?
3 years off the pace, Richard.
Yeah.
I've said it for he come back and everybody's saying right, he needs time and this and that, but I think he's got confidence at level.
So it's up there, is it?
Aye, because he just doesn't seem to. And then he's getting the ball and he's trying to play football at the back and he's getting caught with the ball.
Right.
And next thing he's just hitting the ground like that. He's diving to see if he can get a foul for the referee, and sometimes he's not getting it. You know what I mean? And everybody can see it. It's quite apparent.
Right. That did happen against Benfica. He got caught on the ball and he just went down.
Aye.
In the middle of the park. He is quite sloppy on the ball, especially this season.
He done it on Saturday, I know, Richard.
Aye.
He done the exact same kind of thing. He get caught in the ball and went down and never got a foul.
Just
he's looking for
that
it.
easy way out.
I was kind of looking forward to see how he'd play against Benfica. He's not been brilliant this season. I'm kind of looking to see him step up a bit. I was kind of excited to see if he would.
A big game, go for it.
I was wanting that, but it didn't come. I thought he was probably.
As I was saying earlier there, Richard, you missed Ledley there, playing in there.
All these other guys that are missing.
You know what I mean?
That's true, yep.
Because you them that wee bit of protection.
Aye.
But Charlie McGrew playing.
Mulgrew, but the two of them, Mulgrew was trying to get by somebody like a winger.
Right.
He done it a couple of times, but then he just couldn't get that other yard of pace to get it air, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And they put Commons there. I can tell you one thing about Chris Commons, what a shift he put on against Benfica. He put some shift in.
That's a guy who's had a cracking start to the season.
I think I thought Scott Brown was phenomenal.
Aye.
I think it's.
So you're man of the match?
Yeah.
Somebody else? Aye, man. Everybody?
Scott Brown,
Scott Brown. Okay, fair enough.
I thought Wanyama had a good game before he got booked. Do you know, he got booked, and then he was scared to put in a tackle, but he was kind of holding back a wee bit. I think, I don't know if he didn't get booked. I think he would have done a bit more in there.
Right.
But I thought he was playing well before he got booked.
Okay. Let's put you all on the spot then. We've only had the first game out of the kind of league group. What you've seen of it. Where are we going to finish up? If you debate just now, go for it. Come on, Andy. Come on. Third. Goy boy.
Second.
Oh.
I would say third as well.
3 threes and a 2. Okay. That's not bad. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, the podcast will match those games as they go.
Richard, the only thing I could add to that is if we do well away from home.
Right, that's going to be behind you or getting the second place.
I think the Benfica away leg is the most important for me. Well, the most important away game, sorry.
Right.
Because I kind of contradict what Keiran was saying. He says they were a bit better than what he thought. I thought they were. I was kind of. I don't think they were as good as.
Interesting.
Well, maybe it's the way the media or as other people were making out. I didn't think they were as good. Like you said, we matched them. And I think we've not conceded a goal away from home in Europe this year. And if we go there, just try and keep a clean sheet and go and nick a goal.
See what
So-
happens. See if an
But
opportunity
it's easier
comes
said
up.
than done, isn't it?
Easier said than done. That's for sure. Right, let's move on to the next one.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
And the next one was back to winning ways. Celtic 2, Dundee 0. Who will start with this one? Kieran, you want to kick us off with that one? What's your thoughts on that one? Obviously, just at the weekend there. 2 goals. Happy with that?
I thought it was a training exercise.
I agree with you on that for that, I know.
They actually, they just kept on and grinding in and just passing and moving, and almost just to make Dundee tired. And then whenever they got them tired, sucker punch.
Right in for the killer below. Is that right? Yep.
I just thought that, to be honest, it wasn't the best game I've been to.
Right. Just a kind of methodical
I don't
training
even know if it
pace
was
as
just
well.
after the Wednesday night game as well,
Well,
and the
aye.
bit of the kind of come down in terms of the
Yep.
atmosphere and everything being so good at the Wednesday night game.
Sure.
And then I just thought that it was very much like a training exercise for the Celtic team. But
And Brian,
another
one of the
bit-
guys in the other part of the team, sorry Kieran, an old keeper of ours, rubbed the bricky for
Aye,
Lanark.
done well.
Was he the guy who kept it at 2-0 in the training
Aye.
game? Could have been 5 or 6.
He was brilliant.
Obviously, the penalty save was a great save, but disappointing with Scott Brown because he normally doesn't put the ball up the height for a goalkeeper to save, kind of idea,
it was
which
a penalty.
fair enough. But a great save with Rabin, and maybe 5-6 other right good saves in the game.
Great save for Lassad's header, tipped over the bar,
Aye.
and the Mulgrew free kick.
Mulgrew free kick, and he had one for Gary Hooper, tipped in the corner.
That was another one. I
Can
thought
I
it
just-
was just
Aye, that's what I'm
and
saying. He had
he's-
some really good saves. I must admit that, Richard. Aye,
Uh-huh.
but it was brilliant. Big grab.
Shakes the head. You get memories back from Seville, aye?
No, I
Just
I
that,
think
won't
for
you?
Seville, for me, it's just I'll never forget that one.
You want a wee whiskey?
Aye, if,
Kieran, you want
if we had a different goalkeeper in goals whenever we went
Oh,
to
don't
Seville,
go back, man.
Celtic,
Can he go
Celtic
back?
would have won that
Can he go
trophy.
back? Let's go forward. The new guy you mentioned there, Assad. What's your
I
thoughts?
thought he done well. He looked a bit of a threat. I thought it was something a wee bit different from Miku or Samaras or Emdy we've seen.
Right.
He was unlucky with the header I mentioned that he nearly scored.
Right.
That was a brilliant save for Rob Douglas, but
Did he do enough with the header? Was that a cracking save, or should he have placed it
it
better?
was right in the middle, but I'm not sure. He just got it. I had to get it on target. That was the main thing.
Right, he's done that.
And he won us the penalty. So
It's true. Yeah.
he did look a threat. He looks kind of up to speed. He doesn't look as if he needs to be bedded in or anything. He looks
Right.
ready to go already. Like, looks ready to
He'd
go.
be
now.
quite happy to unleash him in any game,
Aye.
just to kind of build
So
up
it was-
the teamwork and stuff. Andy boy, a wee toe poke for the second one. Was that right? Aye, Wanyama.
I thought it was a brilliant goal. I thought it was a brilliant goal. But,
Were you ready for it, or was it hit the back of the neck? Then you were up there.
I was kind of surprised because I could just get rolled across to him and he just unleashed a shot. But I wasn't expecting it. But I thought it was a brilliant goal.
A cracker.
I
He
thought it was a
blasted it.
cracker. Aye.
Kieran, the guys that stood out for you in the game?
I don't think there was
No,
a
just a
particular
kind of team
standout. I
thing.
thought it was just a team performance, and they played to their strengths in terms of keeping the ball, letting Dundee chase it, and they eventually just get tired. So I thought it was just a decent all-round team performance, but no standout individual performances. And a good victory at home because
Aye,
I think we had to get that 3 points. Obviously, we go to Motherwell next Saturday.
Yes.
And I think had we dropped any points on Saturday, then the game on this Saturday coming could have been a bit more challenging.
Change the dynamics a wee bit.
Yeah, changes. A good way to sum it up.
Brian, for yourself, any standouts, or was it just as Kieran says, a kind of general team performance, nice and easy done?
Nice and easy done, aye. It was true what Kieran said, it got like a training exercise and they were knocking the ball about well and that. But I've got a wee bit of problem with James Forrest now. I don't know what's wrong with the laddie.
Right.
It doesn't, it's just to me it's a one trick pony now. Get the ball, shove. And anybody that plays double on him, they can read him quite easy now. The laddie, I don't know. Maybe that's another thing about confidence level.
Aye.
People come through the ranks. They all take a bit of abuse.
Yep.
They all take a bit of abuse. because I think it's quite easy for the fans to jump onto the homegrown player kind of idea.
Gotcha.
But I've got a wee bit problem with it, and hopefully it puts another wee dynamic to his game. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe Lennon shoved him in the centre would be quite a good one for him. Keep him off the byline. You know what I mean? But just to wait and see. But I'll go and say about the two signings. See the Miku and Lassard. The two of them are good with the ball going to them.
Right.
You can see that technical.
Nice wee touches.
You can see that. You can definitely see that a mile away, Richard.
Right.
Miku and St Johnson. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Miku and St Johnson, the ball never left his kind of a yard away from him. It was always he had brilliant touches. I was liking what I seen.
Nice first touch.
I was kind of surprised when he took him off because Hooper. I thought Hooper was more good, but don't let go too much into St Johnson.
Aye. So Hooper, what's the deal there? Is that another mind game, Brian?
He looked very heavy.
Aye.
This man was standing next to me at St Johnstone.
Now, why are you pointing, Scott, when you say the boy looked heavy?
I'm going to say something. He knows what I'm going to say. See, close up to you. That's first. Obviously, we were doing. You're close right to the park, and I'm not going back to another way again because I'm a Jonah.
We've always known that, Brian.
I am a Jonah.
It's not just for the
I'm not getting into
games.
these subjects, and I said to him at the fitba, I said to him right away, I said, he's looking. That's the first time I'd really seen him maybe 10 yards away from me in a fitba, because we normally sit up the top.
Up in the
And I
clouds.
thought, awfully heavy looking.
You struck doesn't he? Do much for him.
No, it's just him.
Yeah, we've got a fashion correspondent.
The thinner the hoops, the heavier they tend to look. You know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant.
I know how that feels.
It's all right,
That's why I've not bought the new strip yet. I'm feeling a bit sore about it. If it looks big on Gary Hooper, what would it look like on me?
Two staying later than Keiran, right?
There are other bridges available, of course. Just to put that in. So, what do we need then? Got one? Is that what we need?
Start wearing
Just
that
to
black
sort
one a
out
wee bit more often. So maybe.
Scott, is there any other guys you're looking to step up their game at this point in time? Spoke about
Forrest, Hooper.
Izzy. We've mentioned those guys.
And
happy enough with everything else?
And then just with the boys when they come back for injury. Just
I see there's a
And
few
there's quite a few back, obviously,
due
now.
back, Keiran and Ledley looks as if they're going to be fit for tomorrow night. So it'll be good to kind of get them back as
Miku
well.
and Lassard are still out.
They're out.
If I'm right in saying that.
They said in the news tonight.
From
They're
the, from the cup game?
Yeah.
Or are you saying they're injured?
From the
They
cup-
said they're injured.
But Lassard should be back for Motherwell, I think. If I'm right in saying that.
So it's not a mega injury.
It's just a precaution, I think.
That's the game you need Joe Ledley for, Motherwell.
Right. Well, let's move on to those upcoming games before you spout your wisdom.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Right, let's look forward then. Two kind of quick games in succession there. We've got tomorrow night, Celtic against Raith Rovers, and that's the third round of the League Cup. And then, as Keiran was mentioned earlier, we're away to Motherwell, Fir Park on Saturday. Andy boy, you're hoping it's not going to be weather like this, of course.
Oh no.
Otherwise it's going to be a harsh match to go to.
It's alright, we're undercover.
I'm thinking of the balls and stuff, you know, the kind of the passes and things. I'm not worried about your personal security or anything here, if your hands are cold. So, the game itself, any worries, any concerns, or you want anything particular to happen? You want certain people played for this one?
I'm not sure. I think hopefully it's just the same as Dundee, out there training, exercise. Do you know what I mean?
Same pace?
Same pace. Well, I don't. Depends. Start off, see what they're up to,
Right,
and then
okay.
and then just try and get a wee goal, tire them out. The same as we've done against Dundee, and
Right.
just hopefully just get the win. Just get the win at the game.
Scott, you looking for anyone in particular to be tested or thrown in?
I'd like to see Tony Watt get another game.
Right from the start?
Yeah.
Aye.
Good game to throw him in, I think.
And who would they be up with?
Well, I've only got Hooper. I think that's the only option for the morning.
Because you mentioned earlier
Miku
these
and
the
Lassard
two new
out,
boys
so
are out.
It would have to be Hooper. Or even Commons kind of just off him. I wouldn't be quite like to see that, and then you can throw an extra midfielder in.
Mm-hmm.
But Hooper or Commons would partner him. I think he plays well with Hooper.
Aye, got that wee bit of an understanding with him.
And
okay.
he done well against Dundee when he came on took a boy on down the right side. He's got pace,
Yep.
which is good to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll test if he does get a game, which I think he will. He will test Raith. He's quick. He's always on the move. That's what I like about him.
Mm-hmm. Always looking for a chance, making a space, coming away and leaving the space for another striker, that kind of
He's
stuff.
very kind of on his toes.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of
Score prediction?
2-0.
2-0. Andy boy?
4-0.
Oh, there he is. So you're just getting carried away. You're building yourself up for a fall now. You're going to be gutted tomorrow.
I'm undercover, sorry.
He would never have lasted in the old terrace. I mean, that's pathetic. Right, throw over to you boys for peeking in his leg. Oh, God. Boys for it, babies. Get your macaroon bars. Saturday, you started talking about it earlier, Keiran. Fir Park. A tough one for us.
It will be.
Aye.
They're playing well. The big boy up front for them seems to be banging in goals for fun just now, Big Higton. And he's the type of player that I think has been seen in maybe the last wee while that we tend to struggle against those big kind of physical guys.
Because of our defence?
I think so. St Johnstone had the big boy up front a couple of weeks ago, the big boy Taddy, I think it was, and the two centre halves struggled against him all afternoon.
Aye.
And I think Higton has a potential to cause us the same amount of issues on Saturday with the big kind of long high balls into him.
Uh-huh.
Good to see that an away game's getting played at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Aye.
We were actually we were speaking about that at the weekend there, and it's been a long time since we've had an away game at 3 p.m. on a Saturday.
Aye, it's always been these daft early TV
early,
kick-offs, especially with the distance ones away up north.
So I'm looking forward to that game. I think we might have, depending what team he plays tomorrow night, I think you might see Kyle or Leslie getting a run out tomorrow night with a view to one of them possibly being dropped in at Fir Park.
Right, so just to gently build them up for Saturday.
And I hope this kind of wind dies down because Fir Park's one of the places where you don't want to go to whenever the weather's not too clever.
No.
It's difficult enough there with the wee kind of tight park. I would suggest as well that it might not be the place for James Forrest to play.
Right.
I always think that when you go to Fir Park, everything tends to go through the middle of the park there just because it is so tight.
Just the space itself.
I don't really think it's a pitch that is suitable to play guys kind of quite wide.
Right.
I would tend to maybe try and maybe leave him out and have another midfielder in there just to kind of do the battling in the middle of the park.
Okay.
But confident we can get a victory there and see what
Are
happens.
you hoping for a kind of a midfielder in the centre that's going to play some nice through balls? Is that what you're looking for?
I think so.
And is that Commons? Is that somebody else?
I mean, Commons has been playing really well recently. He's scoring well. He seems to be setting up a lot of chances and a lot of goals just now. So even kind of playing Commons behind the front guy or the front two. Would probably be my preference as opposed to maybe having Forrest out wide, where I think at Fir Park with a narrow pitch it's a bit of a difficult shift.
Brian, if we go down that road, do we still have Samaras out on the left hand side then? Or is that another luxury?
I don't think he's fit.
No.
I don't think he's fit. I think he's in a couple of weeks.
Do you not expect to see him like tomorrow night or even Saturday itself?
No, don't go on me and you've kind of read
or the kind of word that we're hearing.
I don't think so.
So what are you expecting for the Motherwell game then? Or what are you hoping how we play?
I think you could end up with Scott Brown playing on the right hand side of midfield and Joe Ledley on the left hand side with Kyle and Wayama together in the middle. You could have the 4 strong midfield players playing in the game. It might be playing with the 4 of them for the idea they're going to be playing together and they go the following midweek to Moscow.
Away to Moscow, right, okay.
That could be the thing.
You know what I mean? What do you call it? Commons playing half a Hooper or Lassad or whatever. See at Lassad, can you remember that? What do you call it? Thing for the film?
Where are you taking us?
Airline.
We're not in
Captain
Shambolic.
Lassad.
Where are you going? Captain? Was he there?
Was that Airline? That keeps on coming out of my mind. Somebody will correct you. Somebody will send that in anyway.
Right, tweet us into Carluke Shamrock, and that's no use to for the young people. I mean, a listener.
But I think it may be Hooper. and with Commons playing off him, you know what I'm talking about. And I think Mulgrew will be in with Kelvin Wilson.
Right. So no Tony Watt for the Motherwell game?
No for the Motherwell game, but I think they'll bring him
Unless
on the Motherwell game.
Right, so it's a sub thing. Aye.
But I think he's right what he's saying. I think he'll be playing tomorrow night for the start.
Aye, build him up. Give him some more game time.
Aye.
Okay.
Wedley will get a few minutes tomorrow night, just what Keiran was saying, try and get him in for Park for the Motherwell game, because he's exactly what you need when you go there. You don't need James Forrest pussyfooting about in the ball. Scott Brown, Ledley, Kyle, that's the kind of players you want in there for. It's a tough game in the middle of the park. It's never one of these ones. The goals don't come from a cross. It's always through the middle or just a wee nick, a deflection, a through ball, something like that. And it'll be interesting to see how confident Motherwell are, because they might, if they go and beat Sevco by a couple of goals on Wednesday night,
that's
they
right.
could be right confident up for it.
That's true. Aye. Well, here's hoping.
It's quite a step up for him on Wednesday night, Serco, because I went from BBC Alba to BBC One.
Ooh! They're punching above their weight. Playing these SPL teams now. Keiran, if we've not got the new guys up front, what about behind them and stuff, guys like Ambrose and stuff? Are these guys going to feature in the upcoming games?
It will at some point. I've actually been surprised that he's not been round about the first team, but I think when he signed as well, but I think there was a kind of comment that it would take him a number of weeks to get up to match fitness.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe that's affecting it, but I kind of thought he would be in and around the first team by now, but he doesn't seem to have kind of featured very much.
Aye. Scott, what were you going to say?
I think he missed was it the Hibs or the Benfica game? I think he was still away with Nigeria on international duty when
he's been.
And I think he had to go from there to Israel to get something.
Oh yes, I read that. That's right. You have to go in person. His wife.
That excess. Is that doing his excess baggage?
Oh God!
Wish I could do that with mine.
Oh!
Gosh, he doesn't listen to his podcast.
Well, I'm thinking, produce a wee CD. Buy your CDs of the podcast. Okay.
Richard, Police Academy.
Oh, for God's sake.
Captain Lassard.
Captain Lassard, right. You don't need to tweet us in. So, you're happy with that? It's definitely
We'll
Police
stick
Academy.
with that one, aye.
Brilliant. Score prediction for Motherwell?
A tight game. I reckon it'll be 2-1 to Celtic.
Nice.
Starting the right tempo, it could be 2-0.
Ooh, okay.
Same with what Brian said, but I think on a part of me saying I think Motherwell will score.
Right,
So
okay.
I think it probably could be 2-1 then.
Aye, nice. Still tight, but anyway.
I'm agreeing with Scott and Keiran.
2-1?
2-1.
2-1, okay,
Tight game.
boys. Nice one, I like it. Righty-ho, we'll wrap up that wee section.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Righty-ho, so hot topics, boys, where we discuss the other things that are going on at the moment. First up, we never spoke about it with the Dundee game, so that's good. It's the Wee Oscar for Life. Now, while we are kind of talking here, the guys from the Wee Oscar for Life campaign, they've sent me over the press release for it, and I'm going to have that up on the website and stuff tonight. So by the time you guys are listening to this, by all means check out carlukeshamrock.com and you'll be able to see the full press release from these boys. So what happened? Well, with the Celtic Dundee game, and a couple of podcasts back, we had three gentlemen in from Celtic Quick News, Danny, Tommy and Chris. The nice guys were here on the panel, and they were telling us all about the campaign for Wee Oscar, and of course you can read the full story in the press release about the young man and the sad battle that he's having to face just now. But what they were talking about was the buckets, the green bucket collection, which you guys seen on the day.
Yeah.
Aye, excellent.
Couldn't miss them, which was
Aye,
a good thing.
just everywhere.
Aye.
Shaking the buckets with the money in them,
Aye.
making sure everybody heard it, and that
Brilliant.
was a brilliant thing for it.
Aye. A great thing. And as I say, check out all the details. I'll pick out a few things for you here. They paid tribute to the Dundee bus. They got in touch with them before the game and said, listen, we're doing this, etc.
It's the supporters bus or the
actual team bus.
Oh, right.
And it stopped before it kind of pulled into the kind of last few streets, if you like, and grabbed one of the guys with the buckets to come on the bus went up and down, put in a fortune in there, and then went up, so they had a cracking deal there. Also, as well as our very own intrepid reporter, BJ Mack, who was one of the bucket shakers, there was some of the partners from Chris Commons, Charlie Mulgrew and Anthony Stokes as well. So their ladies were out helping as well, which is a fantastic thing, mixing in with the fans. And they raised, right? Remember the crowds, right? Obviously right down
41,000.
Right? Okay.
Crowd, that is not the...
I was going to want to talk about that.
With some buckets round about a stadium, £31,918 and 5 pence. That's stunning, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
How much does the fund need?
Well, the target that they have is 250,000.
Right.
That's what the wee boy himself needs to actually, make the trip and get the therapy and so on, and try that in his battle against the
That's a good start.
the illness. So that's fantastic. So that's the central fund needs that, and these guys who are specifically from Wee Oscar for Life, they then tie their money in towards that. So as well as that, and congratulations to the boys again, they've got some other things coming up, and again we'll put that out on the website. They've got quiz nights, they've got race nights, we've got a couple of dates here. 29th of September, the Phoenix Bar in the Gallowgate. Tickets are £5, that's over 18s only. And then I think this is the quiz night one, Kerrydale Suite in Celtic Park, that's the 17th of November, and ticket prices are still to be confirmed. And then there's a cycle, Celtic Park to Belfast, and that's the St Patrick's weekend. So March 2013, there's going to be a massive cycling event the boys are putting on. So you can get in touch with them, do it on Twitter, I think is the kind of best things for them. They spoke about that in the last podcast, which is Wee Oscar for Life, and the 4 is the number 4, so Wee Oscar, number 4, Life, and well done to the boys again. Next up, Paul Larkin. The boys, we were obviously through at the book launch, which was shambolic. We'll just leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. Put the hashtag out there. We've got another hashtag to run with. So you get ready, use our Twitter nutters, use for the young team, right? This is the hashtag you have to learn now. Bampot book launch, right? Get that in for your searches and stuff, because they're going to be using that. Paul's next book, which is By Any Means Necessary, and it's the last few years of Celtic, and it's the rise of the internet Bampots and so on. And there is, I'll not say too much, but there's a mention for the Carluke Shamrock. So,
is it not more than a mention? Is it not the...
Can I say just
You get inside that information.
Stop him.
I've just seen the poster, that's all.
Good man, yes, we've been retweeting the poster tonight, which is pretty hilarious. But we'll build more and more of the kind of contents of the book as it approaches. The book itself getting released on the 26th of October, but the big party, the other Bampot party we're going to have is Saturday, 24th of November. And the place you were talking about earlier, it's the Association on London Road, so it's going to be in there. So we, as I say, we've retweeted the kind of poster with all the details and times and everything on it, but we'll be talking about that as we go. I'm sure you boys will be up for it. Right, next one, a wee thing I wanted to get your thoughts on, the Hillsborough report. That obviously came out in the news, and unveiled or revealed, I suppose, what we've all known for many, many years, and they finally cleared the fans of any guilt or any nonsense that was going on. Other things that happened, Alex Thompson, Super Tomo, was doorstepping Kelvin Mackenzie. Remember the horrible creature from The Sun? He was the editor at the time who put up the headline. And his response to the debate was F off, which was nice. That summed that character up, a scumbag. The Sun made an apology as well. But Keiran, I mean, I don't know your thoughts on it. In fact, I'll go to Brian first. Brian, you still remember the time? Is that, as a football supporter?
See at the time, Richard, Celtic weren't playing in this. I don't know if Celtic were playing this Saturday, or they were away from home, or whatever the scenario was. I wasn't at the fitba. I don't know if I was meant to play football that day.
Okay.
And I walked into the bookies, and I'm saying, they're all sitting in the bookies. They're like, look at that. See, nowadays you wouldn't have seen what you've seen in the television. The cameras were a pulled away for that. They wouldn't have showed you bodies.
Aye, okay.
The camera stayed on it. BBC TV stayed on it, and they showed you everything. And I was like, I'm sat there going, what's happening in there? You can see the crushing, the folk getting pulled out of the tap, getting put. You're like, what the hell's happened there? I also do remember the headline with the Sun. I also do remember the full political bit of Margaret Thatcher's government.
Oh, yes.
They really went to town against Liverpool.
Yep.
They made Liverpool and the working class people of Liverpool out to be scum.
Exactly.
And that's, to me, that's the bigger debate.
Yes.
I know people have lost their lives, and I think that's, I just can't contemplate people going to the football and dying.
Aye.
But that, to me, there's another bigger debate at the
What happened
background.
afterwards?
It was today we coming back from the miners' strike and keeping the police weren't allowed to be tarnished in any way,
That's
their
right.
names.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They didn't do anything wrong. It was a false society thing at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I stood in, just going on a transit about something else, I stood in at that Ravenscraig with my grandfather, and I was watching, I was watching the Yulin Dodge trucks by the miners all. It was a scary thing to see.
Aye.
And to me, I think it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected with it. You know what I mean? And it goes on to different things like that, Richard. So, my heart, I actually felt sorry. I was greeting, I seen it on the
It's
television.
horrendous stuff. Obviously, the families are delighted now with what the reports kind of showing, and it's cleared their family members that have been stuck with that stigma
fella
for
Hicks,
so long.
see the fella Hicks, he lost his $2.
Aye, that was particularly kind of sad. That
Just horrendous.
I sat watching that documentary I was down in London kind of working, and I just sat in the hotel room one night and it was on, and I watched it, and
Right.
like a bit like you, my heart completely went out to that guy who went to the football with his wife and two young daughters,
Aye.
and basically at the end of that day was going home, and both his daughters had passed away.
He had the choice of getting into the ambulance with one and leaving the other one there.
Is that right?
That's the choice he had, Richard. It was,
that's not
see-
the choices you make at a football match.
see things like that, Richard, you really got to, things like they wouldn't let the ambulances into the park and things, you didn't even,
Just a catalogue
It was
of errors, and then the cover up that tried to cover it all up after, which was just a disgrace.
Yep.
And I still think I can't understand why it's taken this long for it to come out.
Exactly.
You're talking over 20 years.
Yep.
So why has it taken that long to come out? Why does it not come out kind of 10 years ago or 15 years ago? Why is it taking that length of time?
Yep.
I'm glad that the families of the 96 feel as if they do have a bit of justice now.
Yep.
You know that they're saying there's a bit of work still to do because they want a lot of the verdicts and stuff all kind of overturned and a lot of the stuff rewritten.
Yep.
But I think they have got a bit of justice so far, and I hope that their fight continues and they get it all sorted out. But I just can't understand why it took so long to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it goes all the way, Richard. I hope it actually,
You want people named?
I want them named and shamed.
Aye.
I want them named and
Brought to justice. Aye.
Plus another thing, Richard, I would love them to release the cabinet papers at that time.
I would show a few things, I think.
And the only thing, I'm obviously, the way I'm talking here, I don't like the Tory party at all. Michael Hazeltine was the only one that stood up for Liverpool at
really?
that time. Aye.
Aye.
He's been right up my expectation. He was the only one. He told them, enough is enough. You can't do that to Liverpool people.
Right.
We need to regenerate the Liverpool people. And he drove the government back up the way to try and they started pumping money into Liverpool kind of idea. But they drew every bit of support away. It was incredible what they'd done.
Aye.
And I don't know. I just. But see, just come back to the actual disaster in the television. That's what I said there. You wouldn't get that in the television now.
Pull away the adverts or
No, they
anything
wouldn't.
at all. Go to a panel or a studio or.
They wouldn't, Richard. They wouldn't show you that at all now. They wouldn't show you that at all.
Horrific.
And we've been in football stadiums. I've been in football stadiums, and the sways went from one end to the other end. You know what I mean? Seating has been. Well, this is what this was all to come out of. Seating in football stadiums came for that. You know what I mean? That there have been lessons learned from Hillsborough, but I was at Hampden. They opened the gates at Hampden. Everybody went in at Hampden.
Aye.
In at the back end of the stadium, up the top.
Hampden
I came home my full
Hampden
ticket.
wasn't penned the way that Hillsborough
You were
was.
I don't know if you're listening to our Peter on Saturday. Our Peter went down to Nottingham Forest.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the thing with penned them on there. Our Peter said it was like that. He came home with his full ticket in his pocket.
All right.
Opened the gates, bumped them on. He can't cope. See Blackburn. See
They
when
done
we
it at
went
Blackburn,
down. I see Blackburn.
Opened the gates.
That's another story.
Just
How
keep
I
up.
got into the stadium that day, right?
Let's not get in that
I'm
one.
not getting in that story now,
Don't
right?
need the TikTok lawyers
No,
involved
we
again.
don't need that one now, but it was quite funny. But see, that's in that stadium, in that stand that night, you couldn't see the aisles.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's something to do with I don't know what English police. I don't know what they think about.
Just not ready for those numbers.
And they're not used to the numbers of away fans want to go to the game or have the same outside the park, because they
Yeah.
don't do that.
No.
They don't travel in masses. But
No. That's we're totally different, that's for sure.
justice
Yes.
for the 96.
Justice for any 86, that's the very way to round up that wee thing, that's for sure. From the serious side of things, let's go to the kind of more trivial matters. Let's pull in the young team in this one. Bannergate. Dun, dun, dun. Now, Brian, I want you to relax. This is not some kind of risky thing about Stephen Bannerman for the Carluke Shamrock bus and a missing carryout. This is Bannergate because the Green Brigade have been drawn in with a banner. I'll get you boys' opinion on this. Scott, you're still wearing your Ultras hat here. You're the perfect spokesman here.
You just threw the boot off me there.
What do you make of this?
I think it
Pulled
was
up.
ridiculous.
It's
It's just silly. It's completely shocking from the SFA if they're going to try and charge Celtic
2 months after it.
to.
So if any fans missed it, any listener doesn't know about this, is 2 months after it, Norwich City game was kind of first seen, the big banner, and it's got it's a reverse of the ascent of man going down to an ape, then the tombstone with Rangers.
It's a kind of true story all the way up until the end.
Absolutely. Comes up into a zombie, and then of course there's a figure shooting the zombie and stuff. You shaking your head in disbelief that it's getting to this stage.
That's British football. It's a kind of some people might not see it as banter, but it in a way it is. It's not too serious. Nobody get hurt.
Aye.
You're talking about some.
Not that serious, Amara, wouldn't say it?
And
It's
Andy,
just a
the-
banner.
Yep.
I don't even think. I think this governing bodies are taking more offence to this than the actual Sevco fans. I don't think they even seem to be.
Aye, now those
just
Sevco
bothered
fans,
about
as
it.
somebody pointed out earlier on Twitter too, is some of these guys are running about with banners that are talking about paedophiles.
Yeah.
Banners in the third division with that one. And yet there's a fictitious zombie thing which doesn't actually exist, it's sort of a horror movie getting shot, and that's the thing that's dragged up on 4 counts.
And another thing, I need to watch what I'm saying here, but I think Hearts said they were chanting songs a couple of months ago about Stalin Petrov having so many days to live, which was, I think that's
Just
out of order.
No, it's
Aye.
completely
And
out of order.
that's puts things into perspective.
Which is
to
again
what a
something
banner.
real, and Stalin
Exactly,
Petrov is a
no.
person. It's
Yeah.
we're not talking about a zombie character out of a horror movie or anything. daft,
Exactly,
yeah.
and I think
Aye.
that should be investigated, but there's no way proving that if the rumours that we've heard are true about that, which known Hearts fans, you would imagine that they were.
You could be convinced. couldn't
You wouldn't put it past them.
Andy boy, let's see if you're how up to speed you are with your Twitter. I know you've been in here early tonight, all waiting, nice and happy, and credit to you. Do you know about the mysterious Shamrock? Have you heard about this tonight?
No.
Right. When you get home, go on to CelticUnderground.net, right? Guys have put up a cracking article about it. Apparently, the Daily Record started with it, and then it was mentioned in the radio, and then it was re-mentioned in the radio, right? It's all these different areas that they started saying the figure who was kneeling down shooting the zombie has a green shamrock. He's emblazoned with a green shamrock, right? And this paper printed that and then started to run with it, and then it's developed into a quote unquote provo figure shooting, and they're trying to say this is why this is, and you're making up to a big deal. And if you're listening to that, you start to, is that right? I didn't realise that. The reason you never realise that is it wasn't on the banner at all.
Exactly.
So the guys that are on Celtic Underground have pulled back all the images and stuff, and this is from the official, photographers and stuff that were there at the game. No mention of Shamrock on it whatsoever, just a silhouetted figure. So there's this whole weird,
Like
scurrilous campaign that has been built up by the lovely media, trying to build this up into something it's not.
I'd like
So
to
check
think
that out.
they wouldn't even be stupid to even think about putting a shamrock on
Well, exactly.
this
I know.
imaginary figures chest or whatever.
They're just twisting the story again, aren't they? That's all
Correct.
they're doing.
Twisting the story to their own ends, absolutely. So there you go, Bannergate. This is going to run and run, keep up to date with the Shamrock and stuff, which is a bit weird. Right,
Still not got a bottle then.
still not got a bottle.
Aye, Bannergate, you know. Banner.
No, it's not. We got that carry out. Sorry, it turned up. Turned out it was Keiran. Right, last thing I want to discuss, boys, unless you want to throw anything else in, is the SPL Commission on dual contracts. Been dragging on for a long time, but of course it's been in the news recently. So it's set for the 13th of November. It's going to run at least for 4 days. That's been kind of set into the calendar. Brian, thoughts on that? Finally coming?
Is that the Lord Nimble Smith?
Yes. So this is to investigate
Right.
the dual contracts, but in other words, are the players...
When is the taxman going to announce their thing?
At the moment, that's rumoured to be October.
October. I just
Aye.
put things in
Just get your
perspective.
timeline. Aye, good man.
As
Good
long
man.
as you get their result, because I think if they go to investigate it, they're still waiting on that other result. If that other result goes different to what they investigate, I think they're a lot of, area, muddy ground. No, I'm just
Brian,
saying that.
Brian, you're
man.
talking like Jim Traynor here. You're trying to put the two together.
No,
Come
I'm
on
not.
now.
Richard,
Don't
I'm
do
not.
this to me.
I tell you before, I am sick listening about it. To be honest with you.
Don't get
And
your
I just don't want. I
EBTs.
just want it to be quite clean and cut.
Yes.
That goes for there, and that goes to there, and then boof, we can deal with it for there.
That was an Ali McCoy's quote there. Sit listening about
Oh, let's move on. We've been punished enough.
Alan McCoy has got a lot to answer for, by the way.
A lot to answer for.
The way he's been actually saying there the last 3 months has been incredible, and he's still not been. If it was Neil Lennon, he'd be in that, revolving door.
and stuck in it.
I think he's got a lot. I don't want to go too much into their football, but he's got a lot to answer for on the partner now as well, though.
Guy's a god. Long may he
I don't
continue.
know. I was talking to a couple of boys here the weekend. No, he's not.
I bet he is to us. Keiran, the investigation. Happy it's kind of becoming more concrete now.
Happy that they've agreed the date, etc.
Yep.
I find it unbelievable that a senior High Court judge needs to come out in the media and justify the impartiality of
Aye.
the three kind of legal eagles who are going to be involved in it.
Yep. To some dodgy used car salesman
Yes, so
who's too busy over in America wearing orange strips to try and collect some money together.
he's another one who he doesn't seem to be brought to task with
Yeah.
some of his comments.
Yeah.
So
It's like he throws out 1,000 and he'll get caught for 4
he'll
or
get
5 or
pulled up
something.
for one.
Aye.
And to be honest, you can see the game he's having to play. He's going to have to do a share issue to the knuckle draggers,
Yep.
and he needs to appeal to them to get them to put their money in. Otherwise,
Which isn't happening.
I think their club will probably go out of business again.
Administration part 2, another jelly and ice cream party podcast.
But as for the SPL Commission,
Yes.
I'm glad that they've got the date set.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just sit back and interestingly
Sit back
view
with the popcorn.
what comes out of it.
Uh-huh.
I think their only available choice or available option will be the stripping of titles.
Yes.
And I can't see any way round about it, and the Scottish media are trying their best
Absolutely.
at the moment to put other options on the table in terms of what could potentially come along as a punishment.
Uh-huh. I'm going to bring that word into it, punishment.
Heard tonight there
Because
was
when you
18 different punishments or
Yes.
ways of getting around things that could affect them
Aye.
in a kind of bad way.
Uh-huh.
And I heard John Hartson says he wouldn't want to be given a league title. He feels that it's in the actual games they got bet by the better team on the day or throughout the season,
Uh-huh.
and he feels that he doesn't really deserve them.
So
even if
he
Rangers
personally
are
wouldn't want the recognition, aye. But should they still have them removed from the history books? Should they be at least wiped out and be null and void?
Null and
Show the
void.
cheating they've been on.
Aye.
I think that'd be the best
Aye.
idea.
I do too. I don't necessarily agree with
want to
with taking
titles.
league titles and reassigning them to other
No,
clubs.
Just a wee asterisk.
What should happen is they should just be wiped as, okay, it was won by cheating, but we're not going to then go and hand it to someone else. It's basically that, as you say, that league championship for that particular year was null and void, and it shows it in the record books, and I think that'll be what happens.
I totally agree with you.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to make the point earlier there. It's just dragged on that bloody long. You know what I mean?
Another
I
thing
wish it
that's
was
been on forever.
just sick it, because I really wanted them to concentrate on your car salesman. I want the highlight to go to him now. And
That's true,
McCoy's.
he's using it as a nice distraction.
You know what I mean?
just
It's,
now.
it's good.
Nobody's asking him
Keep
who's your
Barton away.
investors,
Keep
where's your
Barton away.
billionaires.
He was supposed to announce everybody.
Yep.
You
All
know what I
this
mean?
stuff's away, hidden.
You know what I mean? He was
This is still
supposed
to
to put everyone out. You know what I'm talking about? That I'm just wanting that to go out of the equation, and we can concentrate on whatever for then. It's true what they said. The boys are saying here. We don't want the titles. In theory, we don't want the titles. As long as it goes into the records book as null and void. There you go. But then
There are a lot of
then
fans
there's a
who
fire sale in these shirts with the stars and all that Keiran. That happens after
And there'll
that.
be-
need your tattoos.
Plus
removed,
Jai-
don't you?
Plus Jai B go out the game. How does that affect them?
That's one of their sponsors or their investors.
Because
or
they've got the image rights. Remember,
Aye.
is that I don't know all this, Richard. You'll know more than what I do. You know what I'm talking about. The image rights, did that transfer into the what did they call themselves? At Serco or
Sevco.
Deedco.
That's
Going back, Brian, there are some Celtic fans who do want the titles.
Aye,
And
Richard.
they've offered their opinion. Listen, I spent 10 grand during these years. I want the bloody titles. Is that fair?
But what they got?
Fair kind of opinion?
Scottish Cup or League Cup final, Community of the South in one of the finals or
That's
something
right.
like that. I think that's one of the ones they're talking about. Done the guys out of a parade round the town.
Yep.
One of the boys that was in that team, can't remember the name now, says that he doesn't want them either. He's the same view as John Hartson, even
Right.
though it might be the only medal he would ever get in his career.
Aye.
He still, you feel no.
Just
kinda-
on an
He
individual
says
level.
on that day he was kind of heartbroken after the game, and he'll never be able to kind of replace that just by getting a
That's right, you can't
shiny
wait for
medal.
that feeling. Kieran, you mentioned the word punishment, and this is a nice wee trick that Sevco's been doing and their lovely media pals have been doing. Is
We've
the
been
stripping
punished.
of the
We've
titles
been punished
a
enough.
punishment,
Well-
or is that just a consequence,
No,
and
I
therefore there should be another punishment?
think it's the same as them playing in Division 3. They seem to think that was a punishment.
Yes.
It wasn't a punishment.
Uh-huh.
Your club went out of business. The only way you could come back into business and play football was to go to Division 3. It wasn't a result of you were placed into Division 3 as a punishment.
Yep.
You were placed into Division 3 because your club died,
Aye.
and you had to come back as another business,
Yep.
a new co. So, yeah, there's. I guess the rules are that if you field an ineligible player, it's a 3-0 defeat.
Exactly.
So that's the rules of the game.
And there's therefore a natural
So
consequence
what-
that you'll not win that title that year.
Yes,
But that's not necessarily a
that's
punishment.
not a punishment. That's the rules
But
of the
they're
game.
playing this nice wee game,
Aye.
building that up. No, don't punish us with taking the titles away. Don't do that with taking the titles away, as if that's the be all and end all.
Yes.
Which is a nice wee game for a used car salesman.
Oh, Richard, come on.
Like it. Right, I've been putting you on the spot all night. So, Joe contract's outcome. Will they get found guilty and strip the titles? Number 2, the October day of, let's say it does come out in October, the EBTs, will they be found guilty on that, or will their appeal be declined on that as well? Go, Andy boy. Number 1, Joe contracts. Found guilty?
Found guilty. Aye.
Titles going?
Hopefully.
Right. Ooh, the EBT outcome? Found guilty by the tax people?
Not sure.
Oh,
I'm
on the fence with that one, don't know about that one.
I
Scott?
think we'll be found guilty of everything they've been accused of, or
A lot.
it's not just going to be rumours, I hope.
Aye. Okay.
I think the hanging in October will snowball into the hanging in November.
Had a bit of weight behind it. That would really confuse the media because they think the two are linked. They don't think they can get found guilty in one and not the other. They're really
That'll
thick
snowball into the
people.
other one.
Aye. Kieran?
Yes, guilty of cheating by not paying tax.
Yep.
And yes, I think we've already all seen enough evidence to suggest that they're guilty of dual contracts. I think the BBC documentary, now, they're not going to basically put their necks in the line by by saying we've seen evidence.
Yep.
So,
Which has been handed to the
yes,
courts as well.
So I think they will be found guilty on both counts.
Excellent.
And they will get title stripped.
So Sir David Murray was talking crap when he said there was no dual contracts?
He will be the next person that legal proceedings will come against, and if he manages to stay out of jail, I'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed. Brian, by that time, will be in a coma. In disbelief that it's still going on.
Because this will go on for at least another year.
Oh, you better believe it. Brian, you're going to be on a podcast next year, and I'm going to be telling you that Craig White and David Murray are up in the High Court going to jail. And you'll be shaking your head in
and
disbelief.
Rangers Mark 3 are going out of business.
You dancer. And talking about a shambolic club, let's go to shambolic.
Shambolic.
Right, boys, shambolic. Here we go. So, the key phrase I threw out to you this week was football strips. Because, of course, the club has unveiled our 125th anniversary strip. I'll get you to talk about that if you want, what your feelings are on it. But football strips, that's the phrase to run with. And as usual with shambolic, you can take it any way you want. Your favourite strip, your worst strip. Any other Celtic strips you've seen, hoops on holiday, funniest thing you've seen in the back of a strip, anything at all. So, Andy boy, if I say to you football strips, what pops into your head? You mentioned the two words bumblebee to me earlier.
Bumblebee.
The bumblebee strip.
That's bumblebee.
That still stick out in your head?
It does, aye.
And did you have one?
I did have one.
You did, right.
Full strip.
No.
Wasn't it a full strip? What's that campaign? They take the photos of them and they put them on Twitter. It's like, I don't know if it's a sweary word or not, but a tosser with a football. You seen this, Brian? They take photos if you spot a guy with a full kit on, the socks and everything, and he's like a grown man going to the football, they start phoning him.
So Johnston, what about the boy walking to Johnson when he's weighing? Remember the boy in the full strip? He's wearing the full strip. I'm like, look at the state of him!
It's all coming back now, I remember it.
Brilliant. But there's a company, you see it on Twitter every now and again. I can't remember what it's called, but a tosser with a full
grown
strip.
man going with a full strip.
I mean, that's just wrong, man. Just wrong.
There's certain things in life that shouldn't be together, I'm telling you right now.
And jelly and ice cream isn't one of them. Oh. So, the Bumblebee, you loved it?
I don't know. It was one of the ones I'm still not sure about. I'm still undecided. After all this time? I had one, but every time I put it on, I was thinking...
You're going to get funny looks, but what the heck, I liked it. I was quite a fan.
You liked it?
The original Bumblebee, I wasn't born. I think was it the John Barnes era, or was it...
You better go and talk to Jim Craney about it.
I was just going to bring... There's an empty seat around this table. Mr. C called off because he's no well tonight. That man wore the Bumblebee strip in a very special place. On the turf. Celtic Park. Playing football. In the
Peter Grant testimony.
There you go. So if you go up to Mr. C on the bus and say, Bumblebee strip, just sit down and wait for the next hour and a half of stories.
Trust me, he still wears the socks.
He still wears the socks, the lucky socks. And Scott, is there anything else that pops into your head if I say football strips?
About a week ago, I was watching, maybe it was the Everton-Newcastle game, this time last week, and it's a strange one. All the teams sponsored by Nike that I've seen so far this season, their goalie kits are the same as ours. They're all that green with the big green. It's the kind of badge, and it's a darker green, a few circles around it. You'll see it's a big kind of stupid thing on around the crest, and Everton, Celtic, and a few other clubs that I can't even think about the news, they've got it.
I've got it the same.
And it's a kind
another
of strange,
case for God one.
A kind of strange one. I don't really want to get too much into it, but I just wonder why they wouldn't just bring out their own.
Aye, there you go. I'll come on to you boys next way, where do you want to take it, but first of all, the strip itself, the 125th year, what's your thoughts? White strip, Celtic cross. You seen it yet?
I have seen it.
Aye. You undecided?
Undecided.
It's got to be the Bumblebee strip all over again. Were you into it 5 years' time? I don't know about that 125th.
The 130th is coming out.
I'm not convinced. What do you think, Scott?
I don't know. It'll look different. A lot of people just wear the top itself, and you'll kind of go, "Oh, that's not so bad." But when you see the full, they've got the green and black. The green and black hooped socks,
I'm not sure
black shorts, white top, black collar, it's all over the place, but it is meant to be kind of retro in its own way.
Aye, go back to the origins.
And I think
aye.
I've seen
Brian's raised his hand. We'll come to you next.
I think it was the Celtic website, or it might have been on Twitter,
Uh-huh.
a picture of the current squad
That's right.
and the
In an old
original
style.
squad, and it's kind of black and white photo.
Yeah.
Paddy
They made a wee
McCourt-
movie as
Paddy
well, but-
McCourt looks as if he fits in the kind of black and white.
With the get up.
Looks like one of the original players.
Brian.
I've seen the movie.
You
They
seen
actually
that?
played it at
Aye.
half time on
Oh,
Saturday.
right.
And nobody really paid attention to it because it was on. And you seen Neil Lennon walking through, but
Aye.
obviously you're in the stadium, you don't really. But a young boy used to work with me, Adam. He sent us a message here about a clip for it's on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
so you can have a look on it there.
Yep.
But I was fortunate today to be in the Celtic shop today,
All right, seen
and I
it in the
seen
flesh.
the strip.
Aye.
Very
So what's it like up
nice
close?
up close.
Is it?
Nice up close, and the tenants is in
White.
dead light.
That's right.
It's no bold.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's underneath the. It's a crank big badge.
Unless you're sorry, interrupt you.
I
Unless
don't
you're
know.
wearing the strip, you'll probably not even notice the tenants is on it.
Right, okay.
It's- I didn't, and I think it's quite good to see that the sponsors. It's meant another retro strip without like the sponsors kind of writing. Everybody
Aye,
says,
that's
"Oh,
stupid.
And see up the side, Richard, I saw this new design that I don't know.
I've not seen that."
Aerodynamic kind of idea that we saw.
Aerodynamic.
Right, I saw the new kind of
Stick out.
why the system, the way the shirt.
Special fabrics and things,
Aye,
is it?
That's to
Aye.
give Mulgrew the extra yard we were talking about. That's
You could be, aye, and you go and see. If you get in the morning and you get into the shop, it's the first thing you're looking at anyway.
Right, okay.
Aye.
Plus they're wearing it in the morning.
But I think it's going to be
you
one
go.
of these ones. Like we've had
You'll
so
learn
many,
leather, yeah.
so many third strips we've had over the
Aye.
years, and everybody thinks they're awfully nice, but
Comes and
I've
goes.
barely worn a third strip.
Aye.
Because a lot of them have been kind of green and white, and I've just worn the home strip. I've barely seen any of the third strips the last kind of
Sure.
5 years. There's not.
So Brian, the phrase football strips, where does that take you when I text you with that one?
Well, where do you want to go?
What dark road did that take you to?
Strangest place I've ever seen it.
Strangest place, go for it. This is Hoops, aye.
Oops.
Right, okay.
You've seen the photo.
Oh, aye, okay.
Revolution Square, Havana.
Oh, yes, aye, Viva la Cuba. Yes, that's right, so you did. So
Aye,
you
we're
did.
windswept interesting here, boys.
Wind
Trust me.
swept and interesting, aye, there you go.
Seen one of we're talking about drew Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
We've drawn Benfica twice in the Champions League in the last 8 years.
Right,
I think the first time we went, we're on this bar and there's a big shopping centre right across the road for it, right?
right.
We're up the stairs and Jim Sanderson was with us,
Uh-huh.
and Sandy was 70.
Oh, yes, yes,
So we got my top, Sandy 70.
that's right. The squad number
We sat
70.
down, he's quite there sitting like that, with his cola.
Uh-huh.
Boy sat next to him, Alec 60.
That's one of the big numbers.
Is there a photo of that? Because I've seen something quite
There
similar.
might well be.
I think there is a
one of the
photo of
gallery
that. Aye.
pictures.
There is a
Aye.
photo of that, and
That's a good
you're,
shout.
you're talking about the hoops, and that's quite a funny story. And
Aye.
that. But obviously, been different places, seen different tops and that. But some stupid tops for the times.
Aye.
See, I think Southampton used to have the stupidest top. They used to wear this kind of red and white, and it was all these squiggles and all this carrying. Oh, I didn't like that.
Back in the kind of Letitia.
You get back to that time, seeing
You see it on these, a lot of these old daft strips on these kind of Premier League years, these.
ESPN Classic at 4 in the morning and that.
ITV4, they do a kind of World
Get
of
to your
Sport
bed.
thing. They did that World of Sport thing. They bring on ITV4 and you see it,
Aye.
and it was like Dickie Davis, and they go around the stadium. You see some of the strips, you're like, oh come on,
You
man.
said squiggles there. That kind of rings a bell with me with Celtic.
Aye,
Was
he
I
had
not
a
see a
tag.
Smith one? It was white
Aye,
and the green and gold was kind of squiggled across the chest.
Aye,
That
that's
was
right,
a bit
aye.
weird.
I think that's what I was saying about the. I think it was the kind of maybe Aaron Stubbs or somebody I can remember was playing at the time.
Aye,
and that was
aye,
the
you're right
kind
enough,
of
aye.
it was the original Bumblebee, but it was kind of known as just hooped. It's a wee bit kind of squiggled
The people-
lines and all sorts.
Right.
of
they were sponsored by Peoples,
Uh-huh.
and that was a kind of design they had. They made a design
Kind
of
of
the hoop
wacky
and all
design,
that.
is
Aye.
it? Right, okay. Kieran, we're going to be chatting on your door next, but these guys, what's the worst Celtic strip for you?
That's what I was thinking
The
about when I said.
Bumblebee.
The Bumblebee. That's the one you love. I think it's the one you hate. That's your Marmite strip. That's your Marmite strip. Scott.
I'll need to have a think about that.
Now, you ever think, come back to you. Brian, anything off touch? No, you ever think as well? Right, Kieran, Football strips. And you got that text from me.
I got the text.
What happened
So
with your brain?
the first thing that jumped into my mind was my first Celtic strip,
Oh yes, which was?
the centenary strip.
Ah.
And it was my first communion that year.
Oh, son.
And,
Don't tell me you weren't to communion.
Oh no, I wasn't allowed.
Don't get it that
Otherwise
way.
I would have. But
Did
I
you have it
remember-
underneath?
it was just a great strip, and also first strip, and then obviously Celtic won the double that year.
The 90 minutes.
So that was good. The other thing that jumped into my mind whenever I get your text was kind of going places and wearing strips.
Right.
And whenever I was 21, I spent kind of 4 or 5 months over in Boston working.
Yes.
And I get pally with a guy. He was from London. He was a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Right.
And we used to on our days off, we would get to train and we would go into Boston and go for a few pints here and there and kind of stay over and stuff.
Aye.
And he couldn't believe every time we went into Boston and I had this Celtic strip on.
Was it just the hoops?
Aye,
Is
just
that
the
what it
hoops,
was?
aye.
Right.
Every time I had it on, you would be walking down the street and you would hear somebody shout, "Come on the hoops," or "Hail, hail."
Yes.
And this guy, Tottenham Hotspur fan, he's just like,
My big
"This is-
London club."
He's like, "This is unbelievable." He's like, everybody recognises the hoops everywhere you go.
Get in.
And while I was there, I nearly lost that strip, right? And I found it again because I went into a bar.
Did your wife have it in baggage?
No. I had it.
When you left
This was long before I met my wife. And I went into a bar called the Irish Embassy, right? So we stayed about an hour out of Boston, so you had to get the train to and from. So I'd been in this bar for most of the day, and my strip had been in my bag, along with Kevin's iPod.
Oh.
Very, very first iPod that was out.
Ooh, trust Kevin to have it.
And all my travellers checks.
Oh.
I'd only just arrived.
So what are we talking order of priority here?
Celtic strip, because
Right. And then is it Kev's iPod, or
that
was it your
particular
traveller's
Celtic
checks?
strip was the strip that Celtic wore whenever they won the treble under Martin O'Neill.
Oh,
So
right, that is special.
It had significance.
That's special.
So I went out in this pub, the Irish Embassy, for the day. Usual, and everything steaming.
Aye.
And I get back on the train, and I get all the way back to the place where I'm staying, which is about an hour away.
Aye.
And my bag wasn't there.
No bag.
And I'm like, I definitely had that bag on the train. Somebody's nicked my bag. So my passport was in it as well. That was the other thing. So
You're going for the relevance here. Passports at the end.
all my travellers checks to last me the 4 months. So there was over $1,000 worth of travellers checks in the bag as well. And so that was that. Bag was gone. I was gutted. The thing I was most gutted about was the Celtic strip. So I'm like, absolutely devastated that I'd lost the hoop strip. And about 3 days later, I logged into my email,
Right.
and I had a message, and it was for the barman in the Irish Embassy pub that I'd been in.
Right.
And it said, "We have your bag." I'd actually left the bag in the pub, and he'd opened it up, seen the Celtic strip, and raked through the bag and found my email address.
Oh,
and
fantastic, yeah.
went in and got it, and everything still
Celtic
there.
family.
Still there.
Celtic family.
There's your hashtag.
There's your hashtag,
How many
boy.
hashtags have we had tonight?
So the guy
What
got
an
the
education
guy got
was
my
that?
strip back, so that was good as well.
That is
and then
class.
the last and final one was whenever I went away travelling with Lynn, and we were in New Zealand. So we spent about 3 weeks on this bus tour.
Right.
And there was a wee Japanese guy on the bus tour. We called him Freddie because nobody could pronounce his proper Japanese name, right? So he get tabbed with a brush, Freddie, right? So I was out in the I was out in the bar one night, and I took off my jumper and I just had a Celtic t-shirt on.
Right.
And he come running up right away and he's like, Nakamura, Celtic.
Oh, yes.
Right? So his English was pretty, well,
Better than your
better than my
Japanese.
Japanese, but kind of not great. So ended up, we got to Auckland and he was going one way and we were going another way. And I said to Lynn, I was like, see that Celtic strip, I'm going to go down and give it to Freddie. So wrapped it up in a bag and went down and I said, Freddie, I've got a wee present for you. Gave him it and he opened it up and you thought all his Christmases had came at once. He had the strip out the bag and on within about 2 seconds. he proceeded to run round the bar like a crazy guy, swinging his arms all over the place, shouting, Nakamura, Celtic, Nakamura, Celtic. And every 2 minutes he just kept on coming up and grabbing me and going, oh, thank you. So it was a nice touch, man. I'd introduced another person to the Celtic family.
Spreading the gospel.
No doubt he went back.
Hashtag it.
And whenever I get back home from New Zealand, it must have been a good couple of months after it, he emailed me.
Right.
And it was the day after a Celtic
I've
Rangers
got your
game.
bag. Your travellers game.
Celtic Rangers game, and he's like, I see Celtic done well and beat Rangers. So he must have started watching the games whenever he get back home.
See what you done.
So
You're
the
missing
power of Celtic strips everywhere you go.
That's just class.
Stay
Brian.
Right, you ready?
Right.
Lanzarote.
Oh, God almighty.
Family holiday.
Right.
The Clampets are all there. There's myself, President Pete, my Uncle James,
Right.
here's Stephen, and Stephen's pal, Stephen Riley. Right, we were calling him Dicey.
Dicey, okay.
Dicey Riley. James Conley.
Right.
Right, so we're in, it was a kind of British apartments kind of idea. And to introduce who my Uncle James is to the kind of wider public is, he doesn't get beat at anything.
Oh, aye.
You know what I'm talking about, Keiran?
Aye.
Right,
Got one of them in every family bag.
it's unbelievable. See, we go to play anything, we played Cairds.
Aye.
Cairds would get launched across the table, wasn't going his way or anything like that. But we're all football, we're all
He's a
playing
bit like
football.
Harper,
Our
the
mark
old
was only
boys.
about,
That's
our
what
mark
he's
was maybe 4 or 5 at the time, right? So we're in these apartments. So our James talks to everybody. He was taking our mark about with the super soaker kind of idea, the
water gun. Right,
Aye,
right.
our James was walking by and going like, poof, get him there, he's looking too warm. That's how he was going in with the our mark. Our mark just trailing a hint. I'm like, yeah, oh, Uncle James. Boom. Kind of idea, right? So we got to know everybody in the apartments, and it was a kind of wee challenge match end up. But in Playa de Carmen, down at the old bit of it, there's a square.
Right.
And all the restaurants look into it kind of idea.
Right.
And we said, we'll play down there, a game of football, ball to ball, usual.
Aye.
Down we go. We played these kind of bunch of boys from Northern Ireland, right? It's a good laugh with them, right? So that was it. That was quite good. So in comes when we come back up to the apartments, your James coming in, he's shouting, easy. Next thing you know, these Irish boys appeared from Southern Ireland. Because we'd all the hoop tops on and that because we were playing against them. They were wearing white t-shirts with the hoop tops on, right?
Spectators.
So these boys come down, me, Marty and that, right? Hilarious. They're like, what's your name? And our James like, James Conley. What's your name? Dicey Riley. Boy, like, Jesus!
Jesus! Up in the shooters.
We'll get you drink, whatever you want, you know what I'm talking about. So that a banter on because we played them. Then these English boys from Wigan who played rugby league but played football wanted to play us because we played them.
Aye.
Right, so fair enough, right? But we brought in Big Jonathan who was playing against us, was big strapping laddie, 6 foot odd.
Aye.
We used to take him for a game of Cairns. We couldn't understand he didn't win. He's playing with the Conleys. What chances he got?
Bunch of cheats.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They actually turned around and said to us, are there any chance of me winning here?
So the Wigan game.
We're playing the boys for Wigan, so I was quite tousy. Our James lacked to me now, you only start hitting, because they're booting our Stephen and Dicey up and down, and our Peter was going off his head. I'm like, our James lacked to me.
Match.
Right, we'll just need to start hitting.
Oh, God.
Boom, we're hitting these boys up and down the place. They wouldn't like it. Kind of idea. So played them, that was it. So second last day of holiday, we're back down again to play the Irish boys.
Right.
Well, they came out with their t-shirts, but they wrote their names on it like Decanio in their name, like Decanio Marty.
With a felt tip pen.
You know what I mean? When they hang me, like they did this. You know what I mean? It was quite. And by the way, everybody was doing for the parents. Your Jacqueline and all that were all doing. You know, the place was jumping doing the hang me.
Fantastic.
But the boats were coming into the harbour at the time, Richard. Right, so you're playing away there. You're whatting their arse. Next thing, this boy comes running on. I'm looking. He's got a Celtic tap on. I'm like, pass the ball to me, mate. I'm looking, we're going like,
We've got a game on you.
I turned around to our Peter, I says, who's that? He says, the boys just come off the boat, seen the Celtic taps, come walking here, can I get a game? Took our Peter's training shoes and come on to playing football.
Brilliant, eh?
You couldn't make it up.
Celtic, they're like magnets.
Couldn't make it up. Oh, what a laugh.
Fantastic.
We had some laugh. We made this back to this boozer. What a laugh we had, man.
Brilliant. Oh, just for Celtic talk.
Just for the
That's
Celtic
how you go.
talks, and
Absolutely.
we done the huddle before the game.
Yeah, nut jobs. Right, boys, I'm going to wind you up. So, can you think of your worst Celtic tops?
It would need to be that one with the green and yellow flashes all
That
over it.
squiggly differbinger thing, right? Aye, going with that one.
You're right with
Ian
that.
Smith era, whatever it was then.
The strange double glazing era. There you go. Well, all the listeners, tell us as well, obviously on Twitter at Carluke Shamrock. Tell us your favourite Celtic top and your worst Celtic top. But that's us, boys. Well done. Thanks a million. We have had tonight on the panel
Andy.
Scott.
Brian, right side of the lights.
Keiran.
Brilliant. And until the next time on Tic Talk, hail, hail.
Hail,
Yeah,
hail.
hail.
The thing I want to see the most is the Glasgow Celtic score. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I've shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade.